Hello viewers, welcome to the episode on important tourist destinations in Holland and Belgium. Both the countries have many beautiful towns, villages, historical buildings and varied natural sceneries attract tourists all over the Europe and rest of the world. Holland, which is now referred to as the Netherlands, attracts visitors from all over the world through its great museums, art galleries and the friendly liberal culture which is well known all over the Europe. On the other hand, Belgium, though a small country in the Western Europe, is offering many historical places like castles, palaces, museums, etc. For better understanding, this episode is divided into 5 parts, namely important destinations in Holland, Amsterdam, KEUKENHOF Garden, Rijksmuseum, the City Hall, HOGE VELUWE National Park and Anne Frank Museum. Important attractions such as Delta Project, Kasteel de HAAR, St. Lawrence Church, Peace Palace of Hague, Kunsthal and Children's Dike. Important destinations of Belgium such as BELFRY and HALLE, Grand Place, Gravenstein, NOTRE-DAME de TOURNAI, MEUSE Valley. Destinations such as St. Peter's Church, SEMOIS Valley, Royal Palace, Royal Museum of Fine Arts, BOUILLON Castle and destinations such as ATOMIUM, CINQUANTENAIRE and the NEMO 33. Let us discuss about the important tourist destinations in Holland. As we have discussed earlier, Holland is home to many historical towns, villages, buildings and many natural resources. Let us now discuss about some of the important tourist destinations which amazes the tourists from all over. Amsterdam. Amsterdam is the capital of the Netherlands, Holland, and is also the famous attraction of the country. The 3 famous canals of Amsterdam were built in the 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age. Today, they stretch over 100 kilometers with 1,500 bridges built upon them, giving the city the name Venice of Netherlands. Alongside these main canals, there are about 1,550 monumental buildings. Many of Amsterdam's best tourist attractions can be easily accessed by boat, tour or water taxi, including most of the major museums and art galleries. There are streets which are 400 years old and have buildings of beautiful architecture, small boutique shops, cafes and hotels as well as many colorful gardens. KEUKENHOF Garden. The KEUKENHOF Garden is famously known as the Garden of Europe. The garden is exclusively famous for 700 varieties of tulips, which is the country's most popular flower. The garden is located on the outskirts of Lisse, in what's widely considered the bulb belt of the Netherlands. KEUKENHOF is the largest public garden in the world, encompassing more than 70 acres of what was once the former kitchen garden of a large country estate. The garden is also a home to the world's largest open-air flower show. Alongside the garden, there are many world-class restaurants, sunny courtyards and exhibitions. Rijksmuseum. The spectacular Dutch National Museum of Netherlands is called Rijksmuseum. The museum is located in Amsterdam and has been collecting rare art and antiques since 1809. At present, the museum has an extensive collection amounting to nearly 7 million works of art, including 5,000 paintings in more than 250 rooms, as well as a vast library with some 35,000 books. Apart from its unique collection of old masters, it offers an exhaustive account of the development of art and culture in the Netherlands and is especially rich in traditional Dutch handicrafts, medieval sculpture and modern art. The City Hall. Another important tourist attraction of the Netherlands is the City Hall. The city hall is located in Delft and has building constructed in Renaissance style. The city hall was originally designed by the Dutch architect Hendrik de Keyser. It was heavily changed over the centuries and was restored in the 20th century to its Renaissance appearance. HOGE VELUWE National Park. The Netherlands, though relatively a small country, boasts one of the world's most diverse national park plans. The largest national park is HOGE VELUWE National Park, located between Arnhem and Apeldoorn. The park covers nearly 13,800 acres and hence it is the largest nature reserve in the country, as well as being one of the most popular day trip destinations for locals and visitors. The park features many dense types of woodland in the north as well as a fascinating sculpture park. The area was once a country estate and hunting reserve, and to this day it is home to many numbers of red deer species. The park is also a popular area for bird watching as well as hiking, and visitors can use bikes for their trips into the park at free of cost. Anne Frank Museum. The Anne Frank Museum is another important tourist attraction in Amsterdam. The museum is located on one of the main canals of Amsterdam, Prinsjesgracht. The museum was the home where Anne's family took refuge for much of World War II. The diary written by Anne Frank has been translated into 51 languages. The back of the fully restored house where the Frank family had their hiding place has been kept in its original state as much as possible, and thousands of tourists visit the museum every year. Important attractions such as Delta Project, Kasteel de HAAR, St. Lawrence Church, Peace Palace of Hague, Kunsthal and Children's Dike. Delta Project. Zeeland's dikes are also known as the Delta Project to make a group of the deltas of the Rhine, the Maas and the Scheldt rivers. Zeeland includes the numerous islands and peninsulas of the southwestern section of the Netherlands. Consisting of some of the world's most recent land formations, much of the area is below sea level and therefore dependent upon impressive dikes as well as modern flood prevention techniques. There are massive structures consisting of high-tech dams, sluices, locks, dikes and storm surge barriers which can control the flow of water into the key areas from the North Sea. This project has been declared one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. Kasteel de HAAR. Kasteel de HAAR is known for having the largest fortification in the country. The castle is located near the city of Utrecht, which is the 4th largest city in the Netherlands. Kasteel de HAAR makes for an excellent day trip. The spectacular castle is built by the famous Dutch architect Kuipers, and the castle is spread on a 250-acre park. To build the castle, the entire village of Harzulens had to be relocated. While the original castle site was established in 14th century, this newer structure dates from 1892. The castle houses impressive collections of antiques, furniture, paintings and tapestries, but it's the gardens that really attract the tourists and visitors along with the castle's fairy tale looks. St. Lawrence Church. Great St. Lawrence Church is one of the remaining medieval buildings of Rotterdam. The church was almost destroyed during the World War II. However, the church dates back to the 15th century and was built on marshy ground, giving the building a peculiar lean, and much leaning was stopped after the rebuilding of its foundation in 1650. The church has a bright interior due to the heightened colored glass windows. The church is famous for its 3 Danish organs, the largest of which stands on a marble base on the inside wall of the tower. The bronze doors of the main entrance on the theme of war and peace are by the Italian artist Manzu, and in front of church is a statue of Rotterdam's most famous son Erasmus. There are guided tours inside the church and visitors can also climb up the tower. Peace Palace of Hague. Hague is known as the International City of Peace and Justice. The palace, which is known as the Peace Palace, is the icon of the Hague. The palace celebrated its 100th birthday in 2013. The construction of the building was funded by Andrew Carnegie, who was the steel businessman, and it remains the property of Carnegie Foundation today. This Hague landmark houses several important international organizations, including the World Court, Permanent Court of Arbitration, and the Peace Palace Library. Guided tours of the facility are available on weekends. A visitor center with information available in 7 languages is open every day. Kunsthal. Kunsthal is another example of Rotterdam's functional architecture. It is also known as the Art Hall. This trendy gallery opened in 1992 and hosts a variety of constantly changing exhibits of visual arts, design, architecture and culture from across the globe. Another gallery worth visiting is the Chabot Museum, featuring the works of Dutch painter and sculptor Henk Chabot, housed in a superb white villa built in 1938. Another museum, the Netherlands Photo Museum, highlights a broad collection of historical images by numerous Dutch photographers. Children's Dike. More than 1,000 old windmills still exist in the Netherlands, and the largest numbers of Dutch windmills can be found near the village of Kinderdijk. These windmills have been well preserved to the present day and are now popular tourist attractions in the Netherlands. The concentration of these preserved 18th century windmills are now crowned as the UNESCO World Heritage Site. The 19 windmills, which were built between 1722 and 1761, are the largest surviving windmills with 92 feet sails. The place is open to the public from April to October, including special mill days when the sails are set in motion. Important destinations of Belgium such as BELFRY and HALLE, Grand Place, Gravenstein, Notre-Dame de Tournai, MEUSE Valley and St. Peter's Church. Belgium is another small country in Europe, but it is not less than any other country with respect to the tourism destinations that the country has. Let us discuss about the important tourist destinations in Belgium. Belfry and HALLE. Belfry and HALLE are the most recognizable site in the entire of Belgium. The building dates back to the medieval era and once functioned as the main town hall. The tower has 366 narrow steps and presently has been preserved, allowing visitors to experience the architectural beauty of the Middle Ages. Grand Place. The Grand Place or the Grote Markt is another attraction of Belgium. It is the city's main landmark square surrounded by the town hall and guild halls. The Grand Place dates back to the 11th century when markets were held. Nowadays, once in every 2 years in the month of August, an enormous flower carpet is set up in the Grand Place for a few days. Gravenstein. Gravenstein is one of the Europe's best surviving and well preserved castles. It is a strong and thick and high wall on the banks of the river Levy. Inside of the castle, there are many vast arched halls and chambers contain exhibits of medieval life. Notre-Dame de Tournai. The Cathedral of Our Lady or Notre-Dame de Tournai is a symbolic cathedral of Catholicism in the woolen city of Tournai. The cathedral was built in the 12th century with three architectural styles: Romanesque, Transitional and Gothic. The cathedral has 5 bell towers with ceilings that reach up to 157 feet high. The house of worship is also home to the Issue of Souls in Purgatory, a painting by great Flemish artist Peter Paul Rubens. Meuse Valley. The Meuse Valley is located in the south of the country, is one of the best places to experience Belgium's countryside. This is the perfect opportunity to take a trip along the river, watching the beautiful scenery, dense forest and limestone cliffs. In particular, the town of Namur and Dinant act as a gateway to this region, which has a host of hiking and cycling trails for tourists and visitors. Both towns boast rocky cliff top castles and other historic sites. Destinations of Belgium such as St. Peter's Church, SEMOIS Valley, Royal Palace, Royal Museum of Fine Arts and Bouillon Castle. St. Peter's Church. St. Peter's Church sits in the center of the Louvain on the town's main square or Grote Markt. This is also one of the Belgium's best preserved churches with the Brabant Gothic style of architecture and pointed arch windows and bunch pillars. The choir of the church and the ambulatory are home to a museum dedicated to religious art where some of the finest Flemish paintings illustrating biblical scenes are showcased. SEMOIS Valley. The lush SEMOIS Valley is located in the southeast region of the country. The river SEMOIS cuts through thick forest covered hills and is a prime hiking area. There is a riverboat trip through the area which gives wonderful experiences to the visitors. The SEMOIS Valley is said to be the most beautiful, particularly during spring when the windflowers bloom. Royal Palace. The most important building in the Belgium is the Royal Palace or the Palais Royal. This palace is used by the Belgian royal family as an official residence. The Belgian flag flown from the roof signals the sovereign's presence, and a ceremonial changing of guards takes place every day at around 2:30 p.m. Surrounding the palace are many of the cultured buildings boasting neoclassical facades. The Palais des Academies is home to the Royal Academy of Sciences and once the residence of Crown Prince of Orange, and the Palais des Beaux-Arts, located on the west side of the plaza, designed and built in the 1920s by Victor Horta, are two of the finest examples. Royal Museum of Fine Arts. Belgium's Royal Museum of Fine Arts is one of the largest and best art galleries in the world. The museum was founded in 1881 and the collection is divided into two parts: the Musée des Arts Anciens, with a famous collection of Flemish and Dutch old masters, including works by Petrus Christus Pieta, Roger van der Weyden, The Mourning of Christ, Dirk Bout's Judgment of the Emperor Otto, Hans Memling, and a fine Adoration of Maggie by Gerard David, and the Musée des Arts Modernes, Museum of Modern Art, which has a range of mainly 19th and 20th century Belgian works. Bouillon Castle. Bouillon Castle is located on a hill overlooking the city of Bouillon. It is believed to date back to the Roman period, though it is first mentioned in the late 10th century. One of its early owners sold it to finance his participation in the First Crusade. The castle has 3 drawbridges, dungeons, and a torture chamber that visitors can see as they climb down from the top. The castle is considered one of the best in Belgium since it has a unique layered defense system designed to protect it from invaders. Destinations such as ATOMIUM, CINQUANTENAIRE and NEMO-33. ATOMIUM. The ATOMIUM is Brussels' best known landmark. The ATOMIUM is a 340 feet high steel and aluminium structure designed by the architect André Waterkane for the 1958 Brussels World Exhibition. It is the city's most fantastic sight. The building represents a molecule of iron magnified 165 million times, and visitors may enter the interior where 4 of the 9 spheres are now used for the presentation of a show about human life called Biogenium. Cinquantenaire. The Parc du Cinquantenaire was established in 1880 to commemorate the country's 50th anniversary. The centerpiece is the monumental Palais du Cinquantenaire, the 2 wings of which linked by a massive arch designed by the French architect Charles Girault. The palace houses 2 of Brussels' most interested museums, the Royal Art and History Museum and the Belgium Army Museum of Military History. The Royal Art and History Museum is home to one of the most extensive tapestry collections in the world, and the Belgium Army Museum and Museum of Military History provides an overview of the development of military technology and of the major campaigns fought on Belgian soil. NEMO-33. NEMO-33 is located in Brussels, Belgium, which is the deepest indoor swimming pool in the world with a maximum depth of 34.5 meters, that is 113 feet. Numerous underwater windows allow outside visitors to look into the pools at various depths. It was designed by Belgium expert diver John Bernards as a multi-purpose diving instruction, recreational and film production complex. There are 2 large flat bottom areas reaching depth level of 5 meters, that is 16 feet, and 10 meters, that is 32 feet, and a large circular pit plunging to a distance of 33 meters, that is 108 feet. There are many simulated underwater caves in the pool. To sum up, the countries of Holland and Belgium have some of the most fascinating tourist attractions in the Europe. These countries are known for their historical places and natural resources which attracts many tourists from all over the world. Holland is referred to as the Netherlands and has many tourist attractions in its cities. The major tourist attractions are located in the Amsterdam, like many buildings of historical importance, the KEUKENHOF garden, Ritz Museum, the City Hall, etc. Out of the capital of Amsterdam, tourists can also visit places such as HOGE VELUWE National Park, Anne Frank Museum, Zeeland's Dike, Kasteel de HAAR, St. Lawrence Church, Peace Palace of Hague, etc. The other country, Belgium, is also famous in Europe for many attractions such as the BELFRY and HALLE, Grand Place, Gravenstein, MEUSE Valley, St. Peter's Church, SEMOIS Valley, Royal Museum of Fine Arts, ATOMIUM, NEMO-33, etc. Thank you for watching.